Hello students, welcome to the theory class of seed production of vegetable, tuber and spices crops. Today we'll discuss about the second part of Indian minimum seed certification standards, which is field standards. To start with, let's discuss some of the important terms which are going to be included in this topic. First one, which is isolation distance. What is isolation distance? It is the minimum separation required between the two or more varieties of the same species for the purpose of keeping pure seed. To maintain the genetic purity of the seed lot, we have to maintain a certain distance of the two different plots that are going to be grown. Okay, so for example, if we are going two varieties CAU-R1, CAU-R2 in two different plots, it has to be, if it is cross-pollinated crop, it has to be well apart because they have a high chances of cross pollination. Okay, this so happens in terms of distance. Okay, and it comes under physical isolation. So physical isolation not only includes isolation distance, but it also includes barriers such as growing tall trees or growing pollinator plants in between the two uh, different varieties which are crossable. Okay, so the main aim and objective of isolation distance is to maintain the genetic purity of the two different varieties, crossable varieties, because they have a high chances of cross pollination among themselves. Okay, although usually cell pollinated crop plants have lesser distance and cross pollinated crop plants have further distance when it comes to isolation distance. Okay, so next one is objectionable weed. What are objectionable weeds? It is a noxious weed whose weed seeds are difficult to separate when mixed with the crop. Okay, so this comes with the type of seeds, size and color of seeds which are quite familiar and which are quite similar to the crop plants. Okay, so it is once mixed, when once mixed, it get mixed obviously in the field plot and at the same time in the seed lot. Okay, it is very difficult to separate because of the similar size and similar color. Okay, so it is best to avoid in the field itself whenever you find crop plants which are. And the next term is of type. Okay, which means the seed or plant not a part of the variety in that it deviates in one or more characteristics from the variety as described and may include seeds or plants of other varieties. So basically it means of types are those type of plants which are not fit into the plant descriptors or plant characteristics which are given by the plant breeder. Okay, which are supposed to grow as similar to the seed, the variety which is grown in the field plot. Okay, so such plant type which are not uh, giving the morphological characters which are supposed to be, it should be avoided. Okay, so coming to the next slide, we have the field standards of vegetable seeds are going to be divided into two types, which are based on general requirements, okay, and specific requirements. What is general requirements? General requirements are the isolation distance, maintenance of isolation distance, or standards for isolation distance for foundation and certified seeds. When it comes to specific requirements, so apart from general requirements, we have off type. Okay, the amount of allowable off types, allowable objectionable weeds, and allowable plants affected by seed-borne diseases. Okay, which are similar to the standards that we have mentioned in seed standards. Okay, although all these general requirements and specific requirements when it comes to the field standards, okay, so these are mainly intended to maintain the genetic purity of the seed lot. Okay, so coming to first of all the general requirements. Okay, in other general requirements we have only one thing: we have to take care of the isolation distance between the two varieties. Okay, say for example when you're growing two different varieties, okay, and when you're supposed to grow two different varieties, you have to grow it at a certain distance. You have to maintain a certain distance between two different varieties because they are crossable. Okay, specifically in case of cross-pollinated crop plants because they have a wide uh, cross-pollination, and then in case of self-pollinated crop plants you can just maintain for from 3 meters to 50 meters. Okay, in case of tomato 50 meters and in case of rice, paddy, which are highly self-pollinated crop plants, you can maintain up to 3 meters to 5 meters. Okay, so as you can see here, these are two different plant types. As you can see, there is differences in their flower color. One is greenish, and the flower which is represented here is um yellow, sorry, white color. And the difference, because of the differences, as you can see, these are two different varieties, so you have to maintain a certain distance. Although I guess this is a self-pollinated crop plant, that's why there is least distance maintained. Or otherwise, if it is highly cross-pollinated crop plants, you have to maintain up from 1 kilometer to 1.5 kilometer, okay, or even more than that, okay, if it is possible. Okay, coming to the different isolation distance, okay, which are standardized with allowable isolation distance, which are standardized for different crop plants are given as such. Okay, so first of all, for tomato, the field of other varieties. Okay, for in case of tomato, you have to maintain a distance of a minimum distance of 50 meter and 25 meters. Okay, when it comes to when you have to grow other varieties in a nearby localities, okay, or nearby field plot. Okay, and when it comes to field of same variety not conforming to varietal purity requirements for certifications. Okay, say for example, when you're growing a foundation seed, and near to that, if you're growing near to that, within 30 meters, or you can say 20 meters, if you grow uh, another variety which is of truthful level seeds which are not standardized. Okay, so it is not, it cannot be certified because it fails the field standards. Okay, so in this also, the minimum distance allowable in the field plot is 50 for foundation seed and 25 for certified seeds. As you can also see here, in case of brinjal, which is a often cross-pollinated crop plants, you can see here a moderate isolation distance. Okay, so in case of brinjal, we have the isolation distance that we have to maintain for other crop other varieties of brinjal is 200 for minimum distance is 200 for foundation seed and 100 for certified seed. Well, when it comes to fields of same variety not conforming to varietal purity, say for example truthful level seeds, so you have to maintain 200 seeds of minimum distance between varieties and 100 of minimum distance for certified seeds. Okay, and also in case of capsicum and chilies, which are uh, self-pollinated crop plants, although because of the chances of uh, cross-pollination by any other means is a little bit higher when you compare to a self-pollinated crop plant, which is tomato. You can see here 400 a minimum distance for foundation seed and certified seed 200 meters. Okay, for both field of other varieties and field of same varieties which are not conforming to varietal purity. Okay, and okra is also uh, often cross-pollinated crop plants. Okay, and you can see here for cross-pollinated crop plants, for highly cross-pollinated crop plants, or you can say for moderate cross-pollinated crop plants such as ash gourd, bitter gourd, bottle gourd, and cucumber, they have a high isolation distance, minimum of 1000 meter, or you can say 1 kilometer, and for foundation seed, and 500 meter or half a kilometer for certified seed should be maintained for both field of other varieties and field of same varieties which are not conforming to varietal purity. And these are one thing we have to remember, one thing we have to notice in this is the differences in isolation distance for foundation seed and certified seeds, because the standard here is a little bit high for foundation seed, so we have to maintain uh, a further isolation distance in case of foundation seed, and uh, a little bit lesser distance for certified seeds. Okay, although as you can see here, this all comes under cross-pollinated crop plants. Okay, Indian squash, long melon, musk melon, pumpkin, ridge gourd, snack gourd, sponge gourd, summer squash, and all of them have an isolation distance of 1 kilometer, at least minimum 1 kilometer for foundation seed and minimum 500 meter for certified seeds. And coming to the okay, self-pollinated crop plants, here you can see here the isolation distance here is much reduced, 10 meter for foundation seed and 5 meter for certified seeds. Okay, and you can see here highly cross-pollinated crop plant classes of vegetables. Okay, which you can see spinach and beet, cabbage, cauliflower and broccoli, which are considered to be highly cross-pollinated. That's why the distance is even higher. We have to set the minimum distance a little bit more higher, which is 1.6 kilometer, or you can say 1600 meters for foundation seed and 1000 meters for certified seeds. Okay, so this minimum standard of fill distance and distance between two varieties has to be maintained to get the seeds which is produced from the field plot to get certified, or otherwise your field plot will not your seeds which are produced from the field plot will not be certified, and it won't come into certified seeds, or you can foundation seeds and so and so. Okay, and as you can see here, yeah, self-pollinated crop plants here, the minimum distance here. Garlic, because the garlic is propagated by mostly um, um, asexual mode of propagation, vegetative mode of propagation, which is by bulbs. Okay, and onion, in case of onion, it flowers, so that's why we have to maintain an isolation distance, moderate isolation distance as such, and high for highly cross-pollinated crop plants such as garden beet and radish. They are also at a distance 1600 meter to 1000 meter for both the foundation seed and for foundation seed and certified seed respectively. Okay, and when it comes to yeah, highly self-pollinated crop plants, as you can see here, peas, doligos, beans, cowpea, French bean, the minimum isolation distance is 10 meters for foundation seed and 5 meters for certified seeds. Okay, and the next thing is specific requirements. Okay, above, although above isolation distance that you have maintained, so some peculiar things you have to take into account is the different types of the plant types. Okay, the potato plant types which are not according to the variety or the descriptors which are given by the thus characters of PPV and FRA, or you can say that the plant breeder. Okay, so this is a potato you can say variety, group of variety which is grown by the same seed. So if you see any variety which is having peculiar characters, morphological characters as such, okay, although it may be wild or it may be a different variety or of land race. Okay, so it is not, it doesn't confirm concern the plant varieties that you are growing there, so it has to be removed. Okay, if it is grown there, it has to be removed, and you have to maintain the minimum amount of or you can say of type that is in the field. Okay, and in case of early blight of tomato, as you can see here, is a seed-borne disease which is also comes under specific requirements. Okay, because since it is seed-borne disease, so it's sometimes difficult to remove, so it's best to remove during the field. Okay, and wild type of the crop plant, or you can even say the the objectionable weeds. Okay, wild okra in case of okra. Okay, and snap melon, as you can see here, in case of lots of melons. Okay, all kinds of melons such as watermelon, musk melons. Okay, these are admixtures. Okay, although it is consumed in some regions of India, but it is not fruitful, it is not commercially exploitable. Okay, and while amaranthus, as you can see here, which are not consumed, but it's rather grown in some areas as ornamental crop plants. Okay, and coming to the specific requirements here, the different crop plants we have the factors which are off type. Okay, for tomato, which is self-pollinate crop plants, the off type uh, standard, the maximum permitted off type is 0.1%. Okay, and 0.2% for certified seeds. Okay, so the maximum allowable level has to be cut down to 1%. Okay, 0.1% and 0.2%. and and uh, and the inspection, the seed certifying agencies will visit the seed production unit at regular interval of time, and they will inspect seeds, inspect the off type, or you can say all kinds of field activities. And the inspection of type is done usually at the final stage, that means maturity stage of the crop plants. Okay, and the other specific requirement is plant affected by seed-borne disease. Okay, so in seed-borne disease, the plant affected by seed-borne disease, as you can we have to limit the maximum permitted limit to 0.1% for foundation seed and 0.5% for certified seeds. Okay, so for tomato, the seed-borne diseases which we have to look out for in field standards, okay, are early blight, leaf blight, tobacco mosaic varieties, okay, tobacco mosaic virus, and then we have brinjal. The off-type limit we have to cut down to 0.1% at the max, okay, and 0.2% at the max for certified seeds as well. And the inspection, the field inspector will, or the off type has to be removed at and after flowering, and for seed-borne disease at final inspection. So the field seed inspector usually comes for like four times in the cropping season, so it will check. So before that you have to remove the off type, or the inspection, or during the inspection only you can remove these off type plants with the consultation of the experts, okay, which are seed inspectors. Okay, and then coming to the plant affected by seed-borne disease, in case of brinjal we have phomopsis vaccines, which maximum limit has to be allowed not more than 0.1% for foundation seed and 0.2% for certified seeds. Okay, and capsicum also we have here of type 0.1% and 0.2% allowable of maximum permitted limit for foundation seed and certified seed respectively. And this has to be done, the removal of type has to be done at and after flowering, and for seed-borne disease at final inspection. Okay, and seed-borne disease of chilies and capsicum can be listed out as leaf blight and anthracnose. Okay, and for okra, 0.1% for foundation seed and 0.2% for certified seed of type. And usually removal or field inspection is done for off type and after flowering. Okay, and for usually in this case, for okra we have objectionable weeds. Okay, although there is no standards, user standards given here. Okay, but the removal of wild okra, okay, from the crop plants is advisable, because it get once it get mixed, is a um, it is dangerous seed mixture to the seed lot. Okay, and then in case of ascot we have the similar field standards, which is for off type at and after flowering. And for bitter gourd also the same thing. And for bitter gourds we have objectionable weed plants, okay, which are balsam apple, bhat karela, and jungli karela. Okay, and for bottle gourd, okay, we have here the off type, okay, which are similar to all the others. Coming to the next slide, we have the objectionable weeds for cucumber, which is Cucumis hardwicki. Okay, and the standards for off type is similar to all the others. And we have Tinta long melons, which standards are all similar to the above given standards. Then objectionable wheat plants we have to look out for in long melon or all kinds of melons that we usually grow are snap melon, wheat melon, and non-dessert forms of melons. Okay, and in case of musk melon, okay, the similar standards objectionable weeds that we have to look out for again is snap melon, wheat melon, long melon, and non-dessert form. Okay, one important thing here is in case of musk melon we have to uh, look out for the long melon. Okay, which is considered as objectionable weed in musk melon. And in case of seed-borne disease we have to look out for cucumber mosaic virus. Okay, and for pumpkin, ridge guard, and sponge guard we have similar field standards for off type, and summer squash as well, watermelon as well. In case of objectionable weeds when it comes to watermelon, the we have to look out for wild watermelons. Okay, whenever we see a phenotype of um, wild watermelon, okay, morphological character of wild watermelon, we have to uproot it and remove from the field plot. And next thing is amaranth. Okay, field standards all similar. Objectionable weeds, which is wild amaranth. So wild amaranthus is a cross-pollinated crop plant, so we have to check on this one. 0.01 percent allowable maximum limit for wild amaranth, and 0.02% for certified seed. Okay, 0.01% for foundation seed and 0.02% for certified seeds. Okay, and we have here celery. For celery crop we have off type which have to limit in 0.1% to 0.2% for foundation seed and certified seeds at and after flowering in case of off type, and at the field inspection in case of seed-borne disease. Okay, so it's similar to the above types. And for methi, celery we have plants affected by seed-borne disease, we have to look out for lead blight and root rot. And methi, for methi of type, it's quite similar to the above given standards. Objectionable weeds we have to look out for senji. Okay, the similar, and also here the similar minimum limit, maximum limits are uh, limited to 0.01% and 0.02%. And in case of spinach we have here similar field standards. For cabbage also similar field standards. And for plants affected by seed-borne disease we have to uh, seed-borne disease which we have to look out for black leg, black rot, and soft rot for cabbage. Okay, and for cauliflower, broccoli, and null col, the off type which are off type field standards are all similar to the standards given above, which is 0.1% for field standards and 0.2% for certified seeds. Okay, so coming to the end of the slide, if you have any questions you can